Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday, the 5th of October. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer. Welcome to October, Phil, a big month. We used to call it in the old days, for those that listen to 3XY music radio, on the radio, they call it Rocktober. And I think it's going to be a rockin' Rocktober this year.
You might call it Rocktober, Gary, but we're still in Locktober.
Well, we are in Locktober, and of course we've made international news. We're all around the world. We've got the Polish government scared that we're becoming a communist country. I don't know if you know about that little speech that they've made over there in Poland, and we're being talked about on the American news channels as well. People are concerned about Australia. They're wondering what's happened to us. We are now the most locked down city in the world. So I know we've been famous for many things, Phil. We were always the world's most livable city. Could it be now that we're the world's most leavable city?
So, Gary, I'm not, you've mentioned the Polish news. I must say I don't spend a lot of time listening to the Polish news. And quite frankly, in many respects, I'm not sure I have any interest in hearing the Polish news. But having said that, a shout out to all of our Polish friends. Having said that, also, you did send me a excerpt of the famous Fox News commentator. I can't remember what his name is, Carlton or something.
Tucker Carlson, Phil.
Tucker Carlson. And you sent me this clip, and I must say, I did press play thinking, I'm just going to roll my eyes here. But having said that, I got to the end of it and I thought, you know what? If you disregard a lot of what he said about things in the past, what he was saying about Melbourne and what he was saying about Australia does make you a little bit concerned about the state of democracy in this country. And democracy, Gary, is a very precious thing and needs to be guarded jealously. And I'm just starting to wonder now whether we've made too many, we've made too many changes. But it was quite funny to hear Fox News. But this is not a far right property channel, Gary. We like to think we bring all of the news, but just hit me with some of your views about lockdown Melbourne, because I've got some interesting stats from the Daily Oz.
Look, I think, Phil, people are feeling despondent. They're sick of the lockdown. They're sick of the rules. And of course, there wouldn't be two people you'd find in the world probably worse at following rules than you and me. Now, that's not meaning that we're disrespectful to safety and COVID, because we take that very seriously. And we know how devastating this pandemic has been, and people have died. So we're not, I mean, our nature is to make light of everything, but we're not making light of that. But Phil, people are sick of rules, and they're sick of rules that don't make sense. And when there's rules that don't make sense, like drinking your beer through a mask at a pop-up bar, I mean, some of these ridiculous things that have been thrown at us. And look, again, it's not about politics, because really, if the leader of the state was a Green or a Liberal or from any other party, I wouldn't feel any differently in terms of some of the stuff that's going on here. But it is, we're sick of the rules. We're sick of being locked down. This is a country where people like to be free. And I think the scenes that we've seen about protests and the police laying into people and stuff like that, that's just not the Australia that we grew up in. I've got to say that, Phil. I just don't, I mean, we all have had situations where we've been pulled by the ear, not personally, of course, by doing the wrong thing, but when people are getting, thrown to the ground at Flinders Street Station and getting kneed and beaten up.
I got to tell you, in defence of our police force, when you see something on social media, Gary, where they don't show you the context, you should always be a little bit fearful of edited video footage. Having said that, Gary, for those of our viewers that subscribe to Instagram, and I can't imagine that there's anybody that doesn't subscribe to Instagram. If you want to follow a great news source, follow a news source called The Daily Oz, which is THE for The Daily, DAILY Oz, one word, AUS. The Daily Oz manages to be able to summarise all of the news into little carousel articles. And I love this one, which just basically says, Melbourne has officially become the most lockdown city in the world after recording its 246th day in lockdown today. The record was previously held by Argentina capital Buenos Aires, which was 245 days. Dublin in Ireland, of course, 227 days. And London, 201 days, round out the top four. And it goes on to say, by the time the city is lifted out of its current lockdown, when 70% of eligible Victorians are fully vaccinated, projected to be October the 26th, it is likely Melburnians would have spent a total of 267 days in lockdown. So shout out to the Daily Oz, who bring us very concise carousel information. And if you want a summary of the news, two boys in Sydney that we actually know personally, Gary, actually one boy and one girl in Sydney have started the Daily Oz, and it's a great source of news broken down into snippets. I suggest you watch it, Gary. Might be a nice little balance to Tucker Carlson from Fox News.
Well, Phil, unfortunately, it's becoming a bit like that it's hard to look at the news with any independence. And there's one actual independent reporter running around at the moment. I don't know if you heard about this guy. It's been talked about a bit. He just goes to the protests. He was a wedding photographer, a wedding videographer, and he's filming just stuff. And now, of course, he's getting under attack for being biased. But look, it's been messy. It's been disappointing. I think people in Melbourne feel very aggrieved that their lockdown has been so severe, yet the numbers are up. So that certainly has been frustrating. And look, in sympathy of the government and sympathy of everybody that's making decisions, this is something we've never had to deal with before. It's new, so I get it. But, there's certainly been mistakes made, you could say, right across Australia. But it is hard being Victorian. Now, Phil, the news, I spoke to someone the other day. They've said that they know, and I don't know if it's true, a couple of things I can tell you. Somebody said the other day that there's a removalist service that's talking about 60,000 people getting ready to leave Melbourne. I know some 42,000 people have already left. Now, could this be the world's most leavable city? I hope not. I'm going to say this, and by the way, with the police, somebody I know knows a policeman very well who said that the police don't like having to be heavy-handed, but they're getting instructions to do so. That's, second-hand information, but they're getting instructions to behave that way. I don't think.
So hang on a second. Somebody knows a policeman.
Someone I know knows a person who knows a person. No, there is someone I know, but I can't talk about the context because they might have met the policeman at a time they shouldn't have, in a way they shouldn't have. But anyway, Phil, it's become very, very messy. But here's what I'm going to say. Melbourne will fight back because the people of Melbourne are resilient and they will fight back. And for those people that are leaving and going up to Queensland, once they get to that cultural desert and they work out for a year or two that, they can't enjoy all of the beautiful things that Melbourne will get back and have to offer. I think they're going to come on back, Phil. They'll be paying a premium for property. We'll make them pay for it.
Well, Gary, I think all of those Victorians that are leaving to go to Queensland, firstly, it's generally the Victorians that do move to Queensland permanently. I'm not sure is a big loss to this state.
Don't say that, Phil.
There's my first thing. My second thing is, I call Queensland Field of Dreams. Victorians go there for a Christmas holiday, a summer vacation, they fall in love, they buy something, and then they live with regret. Because if you've ever been to Queensland for more than 2 weeks in summer, right, try living there in Brisbane with that humidity right through the summer months. I think Brisbane is a great place to holiday, Gary. I'm not sure it's a great place to live full time, particularly if you've ever been to a cafe anywhere in Queensland and waited and waited and waited and waited. That has got to be, for a place that lives through hospitality, it's got to be one of the worst places on the planet. Having said that, I love going there. I love visiting, but I'm not unhappy to leave.
And I think we're just going to get a few cancelled orders, Philip, because a few people are selling their house with us at the moment that are going to Queensland. So I don't.
They'll be back, Gary. Let's sell them out of here and let them buy back in when they're ready to move back.
Well, there's more transactions that way, Philip. So that's okay too. But there's a converse view because and you met very many times my dear late uncle who moved up to the Gold Coast in the late 1960s, Philip. And said we were all mad and forever held that view as he lived there for the rest of his life, a long life, thankfully. Anyway, let's move on. This is a property show, Phil, and let's talk about some of the properties that have been selling in the world's most leavable city at the moment, Phil. And we'll talk about the auction on the weekend. I know you didn't have the pleasure of conducting this auction, nor did I, but 6 at 33 Nepean Highway, Phil. We have described some of those sales as humdinger sales, Phil, when there is 6 bidders sold for many hundreds of thousands beyond expectation and reserve. Sold for $966,000 for this terrific property right there in the heart of Nepean Highway, Phil.
Well, shout out to Lamore Herskovitz and Nikki Janover from our St Kilda operation who handled that property so beautifully. Great result. And I really do think, Gary, there is some really strong pent-up demand in the marketplace. And quite frankly, I think the price band for us really sub $1.5 million is just flying at the moment.
It is flying, and of course land and that next level is also flying. There are some things that are very hot, Phil, out there. 13 Cambridge Street, well, that was bought by a real estate agent actually, so welcome to Caulfield North. A real estate agent bought 13 Cambridge Street. Great house, Phil, price undisclosed. We're quoting 115 to 125 sold north of that, but really good house, and congratulations to the buyer there. Phil, we sold a block of apartments. We've got a number of those at the moment, but some beautiful blocks of apartments that are on our books, and we've had so much wonderful success selling them. Well done to Lamore Herskovitz, who sold 1 to 8 at 19 Edgewood Street, Carnegie. Great block, this one, Phil.
Gary, I was there with her with some clients just last weekend, having a look through. Really good building, fantastic street. You know, that little block of Carnegie that's really bounded by Grange Road and Koonang Road and Neeram Road and Princess Highway. That is really just a great block. That's a great little territory, and certainly it's got lots of facilities, walking distance. So I really like that block, and congratulations to the buyer.
Phil, 1 at 10 St Huberts Road, that was sold for $780,000 in Carnegie with our Carnegie office. And our Carnegie success, Phil, it is unrivaled and unprecedented. What they're doing there in Carnegie is just nuts, Phil.
Well, Gary, that we've always said it's a massive growth zone, that Carnegie, Moorabbin area. So shout out to the entire team there, because they really are doing a wonderful job.
Phil, we've got some properties to talk about that are going for auction now. For all of our auctions and for all of our buyers, keep a close watch, because some of those auction dates, they're changing, they're jumping around, Phil. We're working out how to do multiple Zoom auctions at the same time now, which is going to be an interesting way of doing things, because we just had one and then the next one and then the next one, but it's all happening now, Phil. We're going to be in Carlton, Phil, and we're going to be in Carlton without even leaving our studies or our lounge rooms. It can happen that way. David Thompson, the wonderful agent and auctioneer and licensed agent that he is, Phil, he's been around as long, if not longer than we have. And Phil, he's bringing to auction number 74 Amess Street, or Amess Street. I've got to be careful how you say that, because it's anything but a mess in Carlton North. Phil, that goes to auction tonight at 6:30 p.m.
Gary, yeah, Carlton, one of Melbourne's oldest suburbs, and you know, if you spend any time in Carlton, you realise that it's just a stone's throw into the city, and it's always been one of Melbourne's favourite suburbs, and always will be.
And what I can say, Phil, is we're recruiting well. We've got a new CEO, we've got a new, I don't know, director or whatever you would call him, or leader there in the Carlton Football Club, Phil, and we're looking forward to Carlton now is the second longest to win a final team out there, Phil. Because
yes, Carlton and St Kilda, Gary. That's a hallowed hall, that one.
It's our turn, Phil. Phil, 15 at 225 Koonang Road. This 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space property goes up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Phil, as does 3 at 168 Kangaroo Road in Hughesdale. We love Hughesdale. Great suburb, Phil. You were talking a bit about that in the show last week. Phil, a block of apartments, a fine block, another block of 8 in Westbury Street, St Kilda East, goes up on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Gary, you could not get a better located block of apartments, because not only is Westbury Street a well-recognised street of East St Kilda, it's literally only metres walk from the front door of this block of apartments into Carlisle Street. So you've got the Westbury Street address, but you've got Carlisle Street, literally metres from your front door, where you've got tram, you've got train, you've got the best cafes, you've got the best supermarkets. That is just the best place to live.
5 at 227 Mckinnon Road, Phil, also up on Thursday, this time at 6 p.m. Although I must say, since we've had Zoom auctions, the weather doesn't really matter that much, does it, Phil?
Well, we've also got daylight savings now, Gary, which I'm thrilled about because I love the longer afternoon stroke evenings. And I seriously don't know why Melbourne just doesn't have daylight saving 365 days per year. It doesn't make any sense to me that we would ever stop it.
Well, I agree with you. As you know, the peers are nocturnal creatures, Phil. We love the night, and the later they go and the more light there is, the better. Phil, 1 at 149 Grange Road, Huntley, also due to go up on Thursday night at 7 p.m. So any property you're interested in, make sure you register, make sure you let us know about it because we're jumping the times around. I know there's an apartment due to go this weekend. I'll review it in a second, Hawthorn Road. That might come in as well a bit earlier. Phil, I've long been talking about this property in 24 Grandview Road, Moorabbin. I've been talking about it in a number of ways because we talked about the streets, that street names make a difference. And of course, that's been one of the reasons that we've highlighted Grandview Grove. I've talked about it because it's such a good home and such a growth area. And also happens to be, the vendor happens to be my old friend who was my best friend in primary school, Phil. So great to be representing somebody who I have such a long history with, some, well, you know, almost 50 years ago, I suppose. But anyway, Phil, that's going up on Saturday at 10 a.m. 10:30 a.m, Phil, we're going to be at 113 at 5 Alma Road, a wonderful one-bedroom apartment that's due to go off, and 324 North Road. Goes off also on Saturday, Phil. That is going to be an exciting one, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. And we are going to be on Saturday, Phil, in Dandenong Road at 11:30 a.m. That's at 203, Phil, at number 382 Dandenong Road. Sandra Grove could be happening this Saturday at 12:30. Simon Redonald auctioning that one. Also a great looking property, Phil, Moonya Road in Carnegie. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. That one 12:30 scheduled in Carnegie. Now, this is a wonderful home, Phil. I know you're familiar with it. 1A Virginia Court in Caulfield South, 4 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. You want to tell us a bit about that home because it's a ripper?
Gary, it's brand new and it's one of the new breed of homes where you've got a basement garage. So you just drive down into your basement, take the lift up into your beautiful home. This is, a real shout out to the developers here because they've included absolutely everything that opens and shuts. The architecture there, Gary, is also respectful of the fact that Virginia Court was essentially a court that was developed in the 60s. So the orange brick pays homage to the rest of the street. But this might have some pay homage to the past, but the future is definitely in this home because it's got beautiful bedrooms, gorgeous bathrooms, fabulous kitchen meals area, and even a home theatre.
And you're the auctioneer book for that, Phil, but you're not the auctioneer in Westbury Street. That's Leo Samuel, 2 at 6 Westbury Street. Goes off on Saturday, Phil, at 1:30 p.m. Off like a prawn in the sun, Phil. We're going to be at Hughesdale Road, which is a great address. Leo Samuel auctions that also on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. And Phil, Elwood Street, one of the best possible addresses you could get in Melbourne, in Brighton, due to go to auction on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. The same time as Leary Avenue in Bentleigh East, also supposed to be going off at 3:30. And I know that one is a beautiful home, Phil. We are in Alma Road as well, 9 at 64 Alma Road, due to go off on Saturday at 3:30. Check all those times because they can change. They may have already changed because the auction list is jumping around, Phil. Let's get to Sunday. We're going to be in Oak Crescent. Great looking property going off at 10:30 a.m, Phil. I know you've been involved in this.
Gary, beautiful home. This is a development by Gracecon Constructions. They are fabulous builders. They do an incredible job. And this is about as beautiful home as you are ever likely to see.
Nelson Street, the buzz and hum of the Carlisle Street village there, Phil. That's due to go off on Sunday morning. Leo Samuel booked for that auction. And Phil, I mentioned this earlier, 15 at 153 Hawthorn Road. I think that auction may be coming in, but if not, it'll be on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. I'm looking forward to auctioning that. Vendor lives in Queensland and we'll be on Zoom watching it all unfold. So good luck to the buyers and seller alike on that one. It's a great apartment with a beautiful big terrace in that terrific building, Phil, on the corner of Eskdale Road. 1 at 26 Melby, well, we know that's a great street. Jeremy Rosens is the auctioneer for that one. And why not get down to Mentone on Sunday? Have a bit of a day Bayside there, Phil. In Flinders Street, Mentone, terrific property in a great location there. Leo Samuel due to auction this one. 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Owned by a very well-known and very well-respected real estate agent, in fact, Phil. Looking forward to that one. Great property going up on Sunday. Amelia Street, Phil, Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Well, that is a terrific property. I'm very excited about that auction and looking forward to it playing out.
A very small street, Gary. Amelia Street is a very small street in Caulfield South, but it's walking distance to the best facilities. Of course, the tram and Glen Huntley Road, you've got Princess Park. What a great spot there. And that property has a north-facing back garden, which is not that easy to get.
No, beautiful block of land, great looking home, Phil. Looking forward to auctioning that one. Phil, in Narrong Road, we have also 1:30 auction, 7 at 56 Narrong Road. That's a terrific property as well. 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 parking. Jeremy Rosen's to auction that. And 6 at 333 North Road. Phil, also Sunday at 1:30 p.m, 24 Illamata Road. Great looking property. I know you're looking forward to auctioning that one. Leon Guzenfit has been handling it. Also 1:30, very busy time, peak hour perhaps. You know about that property in Illamata, Phil? Because if you don't know about it, you should. It's a wonderful looking property, and I'm sure you'll be well briefed and versed in it before the auction takes place Sunday, 1:30 p.m. At 2:30 on Sunday, we're going to be in Hawthorn Road, 2 at 62 Hawthorn Road, in the heart of Caulfield North. Jeremy Rosen's auctions that. We're going to, in Sunday, be in not Oak Crescent this time, but Oak Grove, a wonderful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property in Oak Grove in wonderful Ripponlea. Right
walking distance to the Glen Ira village of Ripponlea, Gary, and Carlisle Street. 2 train stations on your doorstep. That is the smoking hot part of Eastern Kilda / Balaclava.
And Phil, it all comes to a crescendo. At this stage, we are scheduled to auction 3 Glencoe Street in the heart of Caulfield North, going up on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. This wonderful 4-bedroom home, Phillip, with a lovely deep block of land. The back garden, of course, gets the afternoon sun, a pretty period home. We're looking forward to rounding out the weekend with that. Some good offerings, Phil. We've got a couple of properties to feature and to talk about. Freeman Street. What a great looking property this is. 1 at 1 Freeman Street, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, lots of parking. It's been very popular, Phil.
As it should, Gary, because this is really, it's a beautiful home in so many ways, from the front door right through to the courtyard gardens, the wonderful basement area. This is an incredible home, Gary, and it feels like it was just built yesterday. It's so good.
605 Inkerman Road, Phil, wasn't built just yesterday, but certainly solid as a rock and a great looking property. I know you're looking forward to auctioning that one, Phillip. That one is coming up down the track, a property that we should pay special attention to, as we should 33 Eskdale Road, another property we're going to feature here, Phil. That's a big house, 5-bedroom, 4
beautiful home, Gary. And of course, Eskdale Road is a brilliant location in Caulfield North, but that's a fabulous family home. Homes like that are really hard to get, and you can move straight into that and just get on with life.
Yeah, it's a stunning family home, Phil, and a lovely parcel of land. And we're going to wrap up, Phil, with this amazing property. We've sold it once before, and what a cool house this is. 64 Balaclava Road in St Kilda East, on the corner of Oran Road. Tell us a bit about this home, Phil. We've had the pleasure.
Gary, you know, you've got to love postmodernist architecture, and this is one of its best examples. This is a home that really just stands the test of time, because it's been sold a number of times over the years. Everybody that moves in there just loves living there. You've got some incredible features. This home is largely intact the way it was built, but it's so livable today. And of course, a north-facing back garden, beautiful entertaining areas, a sweeping staircase that has the most incredible sense of arrival. It's just one of those homes. You walk in, you fall in love.
Phil, that's a big wrap on GPTV. We've had a bit of fun talking about the world's most leavable city, but we believe in you, Melbourne. You're coming back. You will come back, because it's just a great city, Phil, with great people, with great real estate. And we're excited to continue to bring people out there watching GPTV, the news, the latest, the goss, the rundown of what's happening during the week, Phil. It's all happening on GPTV. It's in the big straight, the big home straight now, as we get into the nitty gritty of spring. Prices holding up. What do you think, Phil?
Well, I think they are, Gary. And before we say goodbye to this week's episode of GPTV, I want to shout out to Gladys Berejiklian, who has unfortunately come a cropper through, well, you won't say through no fault of her own, because probably was, but ultimately she's been a great premier for the state of, I was about to say the state of Victoria. I wish she was a great premier for the state of Victoria, but she's been a great premier for the state of New South Wales. So we bid her farewell And certainly we hope that New South Wales, under their new Premier, who is yet to be announced, but probably will by the time this goes to air.
Phil, is it just being seduced by a love rat? Is that what happened to her? She just fell.
Well, Gary, we can speculate, but you know, as our dear mothers always told us, Gary, always do the right thing and never compromise your credibility, and you will live a full and happy life.
Well, that famous song, Phil, fooled around and fell in love, and that's what happened, Phil. She fooled around and fell in love, and now she's paying the price, indeed. Anyway, good to see you, Phil. It's been a long time since I've seen you person to person. We've stood next to each other at the old studio, but we're doing it on Zoom, Phil, as those auctions run out on Zoom. And we're looking forward to a big week of auctions. I reckon this will be the biggest week we've ever had of Zoom auctions, no question about it. So strap yourself in, Phil.
That's a comment I never really want to make again, quite frankly. I'm looking forward to getting back in real life with real people. Zoom has played its part. There's no question in that, but we will look forward, hopefully in the month of November, to holding on-site auctions in front of real houses with real people. I'm looking forward to that, Gary. I'm craving contact with the general public.
It'll happen, Phil. Hang on in there, and hang on in all those viewers that are finding things tough. Hang on in there. The worst, I think, we feel is behind us. But if you're wanting to be cheered up, tune into GPTV in every week, every Tuesday it comes out. It's your tonic that gives you a lift and a boost for the real estate week, and for all things happening in the property market. We'll see you next week on GPTV. I'm Gary Pierre.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Have a fabulous COVID-free week.
Bye for now.